What's going on, people? Welcome back to the opposition preview as we face West Ham, the mighty Hammers, the Europa Conference League winners, the David Moyes masterclass side. And of course, I'm joined by Dan Lawless from West Ham Fan TV to get all the insights ahead of the game. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and check out West Ham Fan TV. The description will be in the link below. Lawless, it has been a while. It's been a while, but first of all, hats off, man. Europa Conference League winners since you last appeared there. You are the European champions. But this season, I've spoken with you a few times. You've had some smiles on your face, and you've had some shades on your face as well to cover your eyes, to cover the worries that you've had in a few weeks. But it's been a bit all over the place with West Ham. But right now, how are you feeling? How would you sum up the start of your season so far?
Yeah, I mean, you summed it. It's kind of been a bit all over the place, a bit up and down, kind of not knowing how to feel, what to expect, really. Like 1 minute, it's like, you're making good momentum, and then you'll just lose like a random game to an Everton or something like that. And then you're starting to pick up some results again. Europe's going well. We're up there. We're I ain't even trying to throw shade, but not that long ago, right? Was it Palace was like above us, and there were screenshots coming out. Now we're 5 points clear of Palace.
It's early in the season. We have to wait. We have to wait till the end of the season.
It's not as early as it was when the screenshots of the table was going into the group chat.
I didn't send the screenshots. Did I? It was someone else. I think it was like a Biddy from like 12 Man Podcast that sent it. I never sent screenshots. I'm not like you. I don't send screenshots after game week 1 when you're top of the league.
You was hyping it up. Right. So
I'm just saying. Sorry, hold up. I was hyping up. You was hyping up West Ham at the start of the season as well, when you was like 6th or 7th, and you're like, look, we're great. We beat Brighton, we beat all these sides. And then the week after, you was crying about Everton. So let's not talk about hyping up teams, because you've hyped up West Ham more than anyone else.
We're 9th, and we're 3 points off of European places, so everything's going all right. And then let
me ask you this then: are you expecting European spots this year?
I'm still keeping my 7th place prediction. I'm still keeping that. I'm still holding on to the 7th, finishing 7th. Now we've got a winnable run of games coming up.
In
terms of games that we should be able to win, yeah.
Okay, so and does that include Palace?
Of course, Palace is probably at home. But this Palace at home is probably the most winnable game, because we've got Palace at home, Spurs away, who are injury ridden, and then Fulham. I think it's Fulham away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Fulham away, and then Wolves at home after that. So that's 4 games that I look at and I go, you could potentially get 12. We probably won't get 12, but that's 4 winnable games.
I mean, if we done the same with Palace fans. We looked at Luton, we looked at Everton, and we struggled in those games. So would you say so far this season, against the sides that you're meant to be beating, have you got the results that you've wanted?
It's only been the games that we haven't won. Like Everton was the biggest shock, right? Brentford, we don't have the best of records at Brentford away, right? I went into that thinking like a draw. But yeah, the manner of which we lost that was disappointing. But it's only Everton was the game that we should have won that we didn't win. Other than that, we put away Sheffield United, Luton we beat, so it's one game. So most of the time when we're going into these games where we're the favourites, we're coming out with the results. So yeah, I think Everton was an anomaly, and that Everton was starting to be on the upswing anyway. So still a bad result, no excuses taken. But yeah, I look into this game. Palace is always, you can never take this game for granted, of course. But the thing is, it's not even like that you're Palace. Like your injury situation has made me a lot more confident for this fixture.
In terms of, I guess you're talking about Eze and Decore. We'll talk about plays as well, plays to look out for. Because there's a few, I think, for both teams. And look, West Ham is a team that I respect a lot.
Really?
No, let me finish. Here's a team I respect a lot. You are the reason why I don't respect them at times. That's the only reason. You are the only reason why I don't respect them at times.
Vice versa with Palace. Vice versa.
No, but West Ham fans, it's been like this for a long time. It started on social media. Like West Ham fans, they've been obsessed with Palace. I don't know why. I mean, it's
No, no,
been a
no,
bit
no. It's the
all
other way
the time.
around. It's the other way
No,
around.
I mean,
There's
we got
part of
nothing
it
to
is you're talking about West Ham Central. This one West Ham account that riles up all the Palace. There's always had this rival with Palace fans, and now Palace fans project everything that one guy says onto all of West Ham fans because he
Yeah,
always
it's
shits
like
on
you.
Palace.
It's like you. So Lawless, you're right, because I project everything that you say onto all West Ham fans because you say some absurd things about West Ham, and you just don't stop. And then afterwards, you become humble after when West Ham get one or two bad results, then you go back to your normal ways. I mean, look, you've said a lot of things about Palace on 12 Man podcast, but for those who haven't watched that and haven't seen your thoughts about Palace, what have you made of Palace so far this season? Roy Hodgson back, Roy Hodgson, David Moyes clash again. Last year, you did struggle against us. You didn't beat us, and we finished above you as well. It was pretty comfortable. But Palace this
Yeah, we had
season,
bigger
are
fish
you
to
not
fry.
worried at all?
No, obviously we had bigger fish to fry last season. Obviously, we still kind of got bigger fish to fry, but
Yeah, I guess so. So would you use that excuse once again?
No, I'm not using that excuse this time around. If we lose, if we don't win this game, then you know what I mean. I don't care what happens. It's a bad result. Like we should be going into this game winning the game. Like Palace has been a bit all over the place. There was a period of time where it looked like, wow, okay, like it was a bit of a surprise. Like you looked like you was gonna really kick on. You was like picking up good results, even with a few players missing. You were getting results over the line. It was like, okay, so maybe Roy is proving his doubters wrong, but it seems to be a common Palace thing is that you go on this run and you look like you're about to do something and then the wheels fall off, and that happens quite a lot. And your ownership probably isn't doing enough really to support your club. Because I look at it, I've talking a lot about Palace, right? Talking a lot of smoke about Palace and all the sorts. But when I look at it in comparison, yeah, but in comparison to when I look at certain other clubs, right, and like other London clubs, historically, yeah, okay, Fulham back in the day they played in Europe, this, that, and the other, but they've been a yo-yo club. Like, so when I look at Palace, like Palace's owners should be doing more than Fulham. Like Palace should be the way I look at it in the terms of the order of the clubs and where London clubs are. I put Palace outside of, you know, the other four London clubs, right? Palace is there, so above Fulham. When I see, so I feel like when I see Fulham showing more ambition, I'm not saying they're having a great season, but when it comes to the market and what they've done, they've showed more ambition. And Palace should be a club where I look at some of the other clubs in the league should be doing more, should be spending more, should be trying to be a club to try and break into that European spots. Do you know what I mean? To try and get there.
Yeah.
But it seems like every time it's the bare minimum every single window. And I think that's the problem. Like this, when you had Zaha obviously going on a free is devastating because it's one of your best players. You're not getting money for him. But at the end of the day, like when you're losing a player like that, you need to, you know, look and see and be ambitious, not just think, oh, we got Elise and Eze, you know, we got these gems. Try and sit there and go, okay, let's try and get in a quality centre forward, or, you know what I mean, bolster our midfield more and spend. And I just think that's the problem. Like, you're never going to be able to really get that consistency. And also your squad depth is showing it's how poor it is because, like I said, you're getting these injuries. Who's really there to come off the bench? So, yeah, I think that's the problem. Like, you're always going to have these runs and then the wheels fall off when you get one or two injuries or like players get fatigued. So it's just the same. I think it's the same old story with Palace.
Since I've known you, that's probably the most sensible you've spoken in like the 2 minutes. I honestly, round of applause, because honestly, I didn't know you had it in you. I didn't know you had it in you. That was class from Lawless. But yeah, I 100% agree. I never thought I'll see today, but yeah, I 100% agree. I think you are right about ownership, and now there's talks about Roy Hodgson's job potentially being under pressure if results continue this way, which I think more than likely they will. Because after West Ham and Bournemouth, we got Liverpool, the Cities, and all them other teams that's coming up. And that's what got Vieira sacked. So, I mean, the West Ham game is massive. It's massive. We need to go out there and get a win. Get a win. Because...
But you know what? I was like, when I look at it, should really his job be under pressure? Because when I look at it, like, if your owners are not going to be ambitious, like, they had a chance to say thanks for coming back and you know what I mean, keep helping us stay up, Roy. But you know, this is we just want to go in this new project. We're going to spend some money. We're going to bring the new manager. Thank you, goodbye. But they decided to stick with Roy and then not really give him considerable funds to work with. And now Palace are 15th. So you're what? You're 6 points off the relegation zone, right? No, sorry, 10 points off the relegation zone. So really and truly, for what they're trying to deliver, for the manager that you've got and the funds that you've got, are Palace like massively underachieved with the injuries that you've had? Are you in a situation where you feel like, boy, this manager should be getting sacked? Because the way I look at it is the pressure should be on them. Because what 13th, 10 points off the drop.
It should be on them, but it's a bit more confusing than that because the reports were suggesting that Steve Parish, who has the controlling and he runs the club day to day, apparently he doesn't want to get rid of Roy Hodgson. So it means that it must be the two other owners, the ownership group that we have, that want to get rid of him. That's why I think for Palace to reach the levels that you talked about having more ambition and pushing for Europe, ideally we need to sort out the ownership before anything else. Because I think with the manager situation, even getting Roy Hodgson for 1 year, what is the real ambition in that? Like, what is the game plan? It's about staying up every single year. And it's a bit boring. So I think the ownership, there needs to be changes. Now, there's different options you can go with in terms of who you want to stay, who you want to get rid of. But there needs to be something that needs to be addressed because they don't get along clearly and they're not on the same wavelength. But yeah, look, for me, if he was to sack Roy, what's really going to change? The only thing is, Vieira got sacked for arguably, I think we're going through a worse run than Vieira. Not in terms of how long we haven't had a win, but because of the teams that we faced. Vieira faced some difficult teams, top 6 teams, and he struggled massively. But Roy, I mean, we lost against Everton, Luton. I think after the Luton game, the reason why these reports are coming out, it does make sense because Luton literally is one of those teams that everyone said that they're going down. And if they can beat us as well, then question marks need to be raised as well. So for me, you get rid of Roy, who do you bring in? I don't know. The names we mentioned, Steve Cooper, if he was to go from Forest, or Paddy McCarthy, who's at Palace right now, it's not really that inspiring for me to get rid of Roy. They need to just be more accountable. You are right. But in terms of players, who's been on form for West Ham that we have to look out for?
Yeah, Jared Bowen is the big one. He was missing on the weekend against Burnley, but he's supposed to be back for this game. The guy has been, on amazing form. He stepped up big time, banging in goals. He broke the record, I think, that Thierry Henry and Salah had, I think, for the most amount.
What record is that?
It's the most amount of away goals, like in the opening games or whatever. He scored in like every single away.
So that's good.
Yeah, he's playing at home, but he's still a threat at home. Do you know what I mean? And then Kudus has been an unbelievable signing.
Yeah,
Moyes done the slow burn thing that he likes to do, but he is the spark. He makes things happen. Like that Burnley game was dead, and made a couple changes, and then Kudus with those players to work off of just came alive and made things happen. Like he is that guy. So those two players are the main ones, I think. And then Paquette is always a threat.
You mentioned Moyes there, and I just want to quickly talk about him. We spoke about Roy as well. We've seen, I think, over the period of time, you've been more upset with Moyes than happy. Of course, that Conference League is massive, but you've wanted a different direction at the club in terms of manager. You mentioned some ridiculous names. Like Zidane and all those.
Oh, shut up. I never said find. If someone can find me saying Zidane,
I'll find it. Don't worry. I'll find it. You mentioned some ridiculous names out there. But for Moyes this year, I mean, what's your game plan? I mean, with us, it's short term. Roy's going to stay for a year, and then afterwards we go again next summer. But for you, there's already been few murmurs here and there after results didn't go for you. That is Moyes the right man? He's changed it up. He's gone back to his usual ways rather than possession football, which I think works better for you. But as a West Ham fan, seeing what he done last year, and even looking at this year so far in Europa League, is all fine. In the Premier League, you've been picking up results. Are you happy with him now?
I'm content at the moment. It's his last year of his contract, right? So there's a good chance that this is, he's going to be let go at the end of the season unless he does something special, right? So there's a good
Mm.
chance he won't be the manager next season. So I've not even when we've had some bad results like Everton losing to Everton or whatever, I haven't even been on a Moyes out flex because there's no point. They're not going to sack him, and I don't want to rush the next manager. I want to make sure that when we get that next manager, we go from the Moyes era to the new manager era, and we've got something to build off of. So if we can have a good season, and even not an amazing, but even if we have a nice stable season, we do something, it's a great chance to part ways and go, right, well done, Moyes. You've done a really good job here. You've left the team in a good position. So now this is a good chance for us to move on to the next project. We've got a director of football there that can help find that manager.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with Roy, and Moyes. The way I look at it with Moyes and Roy, both of them, even if we wanted them out and think, do you know what, we want a new manager, there's no point in sacking either of them unless one or two situations, like you're in free fall and you're really worried about relegation, or there is a clear, defined, better manager. Like this guy is going to come in and he is quality and we can get him in. He's available now. That's the only, otherwise there's no point. Both clubs might as well take their time and go, okay, we're probably going to move on to something else the next season. Let's start from now. Scouting, identifying, doing our homework on those potential managers that can take over next summer, the way we want to play, put an infrastructure there. We started to build that infrastructure. I don't know if Palace has really got that yet with your director of football and all of them sort of things.
I think we have. I think I understand you're West Ham fan, so you don't look at Palace like that. But Dougie Friedman is there. There has been a few questions. Look, he's the one that's been in charge finding Eze, Elise, Gehi, Decore, Anderson. He's made some fantastic signings, and in fact, he's been actually rumored with potentially going to Man United because they're after director of football, and apparently Sir Jim is looking at him. So I think the director of football has been fine, even though there's been a few question marks this summer because of the money spent. We spent £20 million on a backup goalkeeper, and we still have Joe Ward as a right back. We spent £25 million or £20 million or 20 million euros or whatever on França. And we've got him from Flamingo. There was interest for Newcastle and Chelsea, but he's a youngster, 19 years old, high prospect. But Roy he's not going to play him. So we spent about 40 million on players that's not going to be of any use. So there's been question marks this season, but overall he's done a very good job. I think with us, the main problem is the ownership.
It is. That's going to be the big problem.
So you keep Moyes to the end of the season and then look again.
Yeah. The way I look at it, otherwise, like I said, unless there's someone that's like a big name they can get and go,
I don't
not
think
necessarily a big name, but
not with like lack of funds and all of this. I mean, we're trying to build a new stand, which I get, trying to be more sustainable. But this new stand it's been going on and on. It started from 2017 and now it's due to be completed in 2026 or 2027.
Please say it's the stand the away fans are in. Please say it's that.
No, it's not that one. Don't worry. You're going to still see the pole and all of that. But it's going to be refurbished. There's going to be a lot of, changes. But, this stand that we've been talking about, it's been going on for years now, and it's still not going to be complete until 26, 27. So we're still looking at another 3 to 4 years. And we keep talking about being sustainable. We see other clubs spend money. Of course, you see the likes of Everton, they've been fine. But I feel like there's a bit more that we can do, but the only problem is it's not really about, the finances. Of course, they're the investors and they depend on how much they want to spend. But I think it's more about the vision. I don't think everyone's on the same page. And I mean, West Ham had problems as well with the ownership over the years. And you lot were very vocal about your ownership. And there's been a few changes. Are you happy with your owners now?
Happy is a strong word.
To be fair, why are you upset though? Because you lot spend money. That's the confusing element. I don't understand that. I never understood. You spend money.
Yeah, but the problem has never necessarily been spent. Sometimes it's been spent. There are times when we probably should have spent and we didn't. But ultimately, if you look at it objectively, you can say, look, we've spent like 150 mil one summer and then 100 mil, so we show the capacity to spend. But the problem up till now has always been how we're run, not how we spend, but how we're run as a football club. Having David Sullivan, choose players, negotiate players, and just how much involved that he was, and just the unprofessionalism we had. Now, finally getting in Tim Steierton as a technical director, having Mark Noble there as a director of football. We've got football people making football decisions, and that's what we didn't have for the longest time. You had someone, Moyes, who made his money, in pawn shops and stuff like that, like pornography and things like that, making football decisions rather than just give me the money. So that was the big problem, and they've made some mistake after mistake after mistake. So I feel like Moyes, I feel like their time is, especially Sullivan's time, is coming closer to an end at the club, and there's going to be a point where he sells. But he's been less vocal. He's been more sitting back. Here's the money. Let football people run it. So that's why I'm just calm with the ownership right now. So, and Moyes has been backed.
You got a trophy as well. So, I mean, that probably helps as well to ease the pressure off. Because, I mean, yeah, European trophy, cool. We laugh about, joke about, but I've always said it as well. I would love for Palace to win Europa Conference League. Like that would be amazing.
And the big thing and the thing is, with our expectations as a fan base, the expectations has come from the move, right? A lot of the time. So you go back to Upton Park, we'd always say a good cup run, and try and see if we can break into Europe. That was what West Ham fans would hope for. But we gave up our home to compete, right? So the fact that we lost our home, the ground that we loved, we want something in return. So we're not going to have the same expectations that we had before, because it's okay, well, we've given up something, so we want something in return. So you better do your best. You better make sure that you do everything to try and give us something in return for what we have lost. So that's why our expectations are so different. We have to hold you to another standard now, because you convinced us that this was the right move to take us to where we needed to go. So now you've got to show it.
Yeah. I mean, the trophy helps, but of course, you'll see next summer what happens. Because I'll be honest, I reckon Moyes will leave, but there is that chance that if you have another good season, that he could also end up staying as well. Because this summer would have been an ideal time for him to leave after winning the Conference League. So clearly, it's not. He just wants to keep going at this current moment of time. Of course, you know better than me, but yeah,
if he gets us back into Europe or wins another trophy, you can't argue against it. Like you can't. You can't.
Nothing. Even if he gets you back, even if you don't win another trophy, even if you get back into Europe, that's that good enough for the club. I mean, you're getting more revenue, more money coming into the club, and
that'd be 4 seasons in a row in Europe.
Seeing Europe that many years, you can't really complain. Of course, you want to see a different style of football, I guess. But if it's working, then why not just continue with Moyes? But look, we spoke about Moyes, we spoke about the owners. It's been a bit more chilled because of Palace being a struggle as of late. But let's actually talk about the score prediction, because you said at the start that we should be beating Palace. You didn't beat the mighty Palace last year, not even once, not twice. You didn't beat us. And also you finished below us as well, which there's a chance of this season same happening as well. But let's talk about this game. Of course, it's a massive game for you to, boost the chances of finishing above us. If you do get a win, the point gap will increase.
Do you still think you're finishing above us, by the way? Do you still think that?
Yeah.
Don't forget we got that bet going on.
Yeah, exactly. So whether I think or not, I have to hope, because I'm not going to be here with West Ham top and having that chili peppers at the end of the season. I'm going to be here smiling because Palace finished above West Ham, and if that means sacking Roy, then I guess we have to sack Roy, because we can't finish below West Ham. Simple as that.
But that's why this game is crucial, because if we win, we go 8 points clear of Palace. Obviously, if you win, go within 2 points.
But then it's West Ham, right? So, you never know. I mean, it only takes one little run from Moyes to end up losing 5 games in a row and then saying you're doing well in Europa League and then end up fighting relegation. It happened last year. So you might focus on Europe. As you said, you got bigger fish to fry. But I mean, there is a European game on Thursday, but after that, you got Palace. Talk to me. How you feeling in terms of score prediction? At home?
Yeah, score prediction. Do you know what? I'm feeling confident. I was gonna say 3-1, but we're playing Thursday. We're playing Thursday. I think that is gonna take its toll a little bit. We want to win
away
that
from
game,
home.
so group. Yeah, yeah, it is away from home. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham.
2-1
I
West Ham, so
think,
you'll finally be able to beat Palace.
well, let's say finally, it just was one season blip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
After last
Like,
season, yeah, you'll be able to beat Palace. That's what I'm saying.
and we
Like,
already have more points at this stage of the season than we had last stage of the season. So we're already in a stronger situation. We have good players. We're scoring goals every single game, but we just don't keep clean sheets. That's our problem.
don't
So
have
Palace
Declan
are
Rice,
definitely
though.
going to score.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we have quality in there. We have Kudus, we have Ward-Prowse, we have
Do you miss it?
Alvarez.
Sorry, before you go, I forgot to ask about. Do you miss Declan Rice?
No, I don't miss him. I don't miss him.
Oh, that is the biggest lie. You couldn't even say it with a straight face.
I don't miss him.
How does it feel?
Feel good,
I
man.
would have hated. I would have personally hated just seeing Zaha go to Arsenal and just smash it. Like personally, I would have hated that. Like, how does that feel as a West Ham? This is a safe space now. No one's here. Just me and you. We're just talking. How does it feel like seeing him be that successful? Is there a bit of you that just don't really want it to happen?
I ignore him. Like, he's not on my radar. Like, he's not. I don't watch for
He's
Rice.
a legend, though, isn't he? 1-year trophy.
He's not.
Yeah. Done. I mean, he's up there though. £100 million he brought in.
He's definitely not a legend. He's definitely not a legend.
Okay, well, okay. In terms of tiers, how below a legend is he? Because he's not just any other player.
Yeah, look, he's an academy player. So
I think he's an academy player. I don't think you can just say he's an academy player. I think he'll
go down as one of the players that played for West Ham and did well. That's what it'll go down as.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of the saltiness. That's it. That's
he did well.
He played for the academy, played well for West Ham. Yeah, sure. That's all he done. Apparently, yeah.
He's a good West Ham player.
No, yeah. Well, look, he's gone anyways, but I thought I'd just quickly mention it. But look, 2-1 West Ham. I'm gonna go for 4-1 Palace.
Wait, what did you just say?
4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, because honestly, look, we are facing West Ham with all due respect. I mean, we've seen what we've done last year at home. We've got Elite back. You still got David Moyes as a manager. Kudus, Paqueta. I mean, you got a bunch of dancers in the team. We got footballers. So I'm not really worried about them. They're known for their dancing and their TikTok more than their abilities. So yeah, I think it should be.
If you win 4-1, I'll eat a chili pepper next week, mate. I'm telling you.
No, I'm only joking. I think I'll take a 1-0. I'll take a 1-0. I've reached that stage. I'll take a 1-0 away from him. We need to pick up more points. We just have to not lose against West Ham. There's more on the line than just Palace versus West Ham. As long as we don't lose against West Ham, I think I'll be happy. But
I feel like you're going to score first, you know. I feel like you're going to score first. And I'm going to be interested to see how itchy your trigger finger is in that group chat, yeah? To see.
If we score first, then I think our chance of winning, it goes up. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. As long as we score, I'll be happy. I mean, we lost against Luton away from home. If it's a 1-0, I'll take it at this point. But let us know what you think in the comment section down below. What's your score predictions for the game? As always, make sure to check out West Ham Fan TV and at the Lawless on Twitter, X, whatever you call it nowadays. As he just rambles on about West Ham being amazing one week and then being absolutely dreadful the other week. So yeah, make sure to check him out. Thank you to Lawless for joining me. Thanks to every single one of you who also watched this. Until next time, up the Palace.